Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the game of the century this coming weekend when the University of Connecticut takes on the University of Massachusetts, two of by far the worst teams in FPS. And I just wanted to give a quick comparison side by side to see how really just truly bad these teams are. So you've got Uconn against UMass. Uconn right now 0-6. UMass is 0-5. You can take a look at their average ranks among all 130 FBS teams. Points per game, Uconn 125. UMass 128. Points allowed per game 125. UMass allows the most points. Yards per game. All of these stats, the last five is probably the funniest one. That's their record in the last 5 years. Uconn is 6-45 in the last 5 years. UMass 9-38. That's respectable. Their FPI ranks, you know what? This was surprising to me. The FPI actually favors UMass to beat Uconn. I've seen both of these teams, and if you told me to pick one, who's worse, I think UMass is the worst team in FPS. But FPI has them at 127th. You look at their percent chance to win this game. Again, the FPI has UMass at 62%. Efficiency, UMass dead last. Resume, Uconn second last. Literally, they're in the bottom bracket. I guess yards allowed. Look at Uconn's yards allowed. The new Legion of Boom, 118th out of 130th. Not in the top 10 worst. But I did quickly want to go over the updated FPI for this week. Ohio State actually improved, I think, by 2 points according to FPI after they trounced Rutgers, completely dominated the game. It was like 45-6 at half, so the FPI is really going to like that. Oklahoma sitting at 5-0, but I think Oklahoma's going to lose this week to Texas personally. They just don't have it this year offensively. I've given them multiple chances to show me. I don't know, man. There's something missing with that Oklahoma offense. I don't know what it is. It's week after week. They're struggling to score. Michigan, we'll see how they do at Nebraska. That'll be a low-key good game. And Nebraska is actually ranked really high on FPI. There's some interesting teams that are ranked high. Iowa State's a 2-loss team. So who's the top? Wow. I'm surprised Florida is actually above Clemson. So Florida is the highest 2-loss team on FPI, ranked 6th. Clemson is 7th. Again, this isn't an opinion poll. It's based on analytics. So Clemson, do I think Clemson is the 7th best team in college football? No. Do they have the potential to be? Yeah, they do. How about Texas coming in at number 8? That is high. Pittsburgh. Oh my God. Pittsburgh, they have right now the best offense in college football. How weird is that? Pittsburgh. You think of Pittsburgh, you think defense, they play at Heinz Field. Man, that's crazy. Penn State, how about Penn State and Iowa behind Pittsburgh? That's really interesting. That Penn State-Iowa game, by the way, guys, if there are no turnovers, meaning there are no short fields for the offense, there's no pick sixes, there's no, points generated off turnovers, that's going to be an absurdly low-scoring game. Absurdly. If there are no turnovers, if they're punting back and forth to each other where they have to drive 80 yards, that's going to be a really low-scoring game. Ole Miss at 13, I think they're lower than that. I didn't see them. Cincinnati, Cincinnati's a weird subject right now, and I would actually like to talk about Cincinnati in another video, their chances at making the playoff. They need to become the biggest Notre Dame fans on earth, though. They really do, because Indiana, their big win against Indiana's going to lose like 6 or 7 games. Just looking at other teams, trying to find something that sticks out. So there is the first 3-loss team. It is Nebraska coming in at 21 overall on the FPI. So that's a big game. If Michigan beats Nebraska, the FPI is really going to like that. I wonder who's another 3-loss team. Do we have any other 3-loss teams? How about the 2-3 Miami Hurricanes at number 28? I don't know, Miami over LSU, Miami over SMU, Wake Forest. Yeah, there's Wake Forest at 5-0, Oklahoma State at 5-0. I'm not buying either one of those teams personally. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Who are the Kentucky at 5-0? I'm surprised Kentucky is that low after beating Florida. I don't know. You know why it is? They had a close game against Chattanooga. How about Washington? Dude. Okay, so this is where it's tough to take the FBI seriously sometimes. You've got Washington above BYU. Come on. I don't think BYU's a top 10 team. AP poll has them ranked 10th. But you're ranking them 46th. Show them a little respect. Are there any more undefeated teams here? UTSA is undefeated? Oh my goodness. University of Texas San Antonio. Wyoming 4-0. They're undefeated. We'll have to see what happens. Imagine they run. How about Arizona at 0-4, coming in at 106th overall? But let's go down here. The matchup of the century, like I was saying, UMass. I'm very surprised UMass is not last in FPI the way they've played this year. New Mexico State was actually last in FPI for a little bit. Now it's Akron. I watched most of the Akron-Ohio State game. Yeah, no, Akron is historically bad. They really are. But to be honest with you guys, I think UMass is actually worst. If I were ranking teams based on who is the worst team, I'd put UMass at 130th, Akron at 129, and then I'd probably put Uconn at 128, and then maybe New Mexico State. New Mexico State won last week. That's why they moved up a little bit. But I don't think New Mexico State's that bad. How about Kansas? Are you kidding me? Vanderbilt moved up? Where's Vanderbilt at? Oh, there they are. There's Vanderbilt. So Kansas is actually still ahead of Vanderbilt. And it's funny to think Vanderbilt would be underdogs against Old Dominion. It's so unfortunate nowadays. Anything else stick out to me? There's Maryland at 62. There's just no respect for Maryland. I know that they got crushed, but they're better than 62, man. They're better than Minnesota. Come on, folks. Are you kidding me? But other than that, guys, that's pretty much going to do it. I want to come out with a video talking about like the playoff scenarios, things like that. The Cincinnati one is really interesting. Once again, if you're a Cincinnati fan, you got to root for Notre Dame. I mean, they're your only hope. Notre Dame cannot lose another game. If that win becomes diluted at all to the point where Notre Dame has 3 or 4 losses, and your best win now is, against the 3 or 4 loss Notre Dame team who's barely inside the top 25, you have 0 chance of getting in. This is why the playoff needs to be expanded. The playoff should be expanded, I said, to 12 teams, and then you give the first 4 teams a bye, so there's still that incentive to being one of the top 4 teams. The top 4 teams get a bye. 5 faces 12, 6 faces 11, 7 faces 10, 8 faces 9, and then the winners of those face the top 4 teams. The 12-team playoff is the best way to go. You have these 4-team playoffs where it's so tough to fit teams in because there's no spots. I get it's exclusive. I understand that, but Cincinnati has a very slim chance of making the college football playoff. Even if they're very likely going to go undefeated, they just do not have the resume. And it doesn't help that UCF's quarterback is out for the year now. That was going to be a good marquee win if they would have gotten it. The American is kind of down this year. It's not great. If you actually go to the American Conference, just quickly do this. Take a look at kind of the overwrite on all the teams, if it can load. There we go. So here it is. So the overall teams, you're looking at just 4 teams really that are above average. That's what this says. You've got Cincinnati, who's ranked 14th. SMU's not even in the top 25. Maybe they get a big one against SMU, but Houston, UCF without their quarterback, and then you've got all these teams just not going to get it done when it comes to the resume. This is why Cincinnati, if they go undefeated and they are left out of the playoff, this is why probably they're going to change to at least 8-team playoff, maybe 12-team. But either one I'd be happy with. I know there's been some talk of a 6-team playoff where the top 2 teams get buys. I don't like that. I like the idea you have the 12-team playoff. There's still an incentive to be one of the top 4 teams because you get that first round bye. But either way, it's unfortunate with Cincinnati, but personally, I think Notre Dame's going to lose this week to Virginia Tech. So we'll have to wait and see. But guys, just a quick update. Can't wait. This Vanderbilt game, not the Vanderbilt game, this UMass Connecticut game. Unbelievable. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.